Hello and good evening once again. Welcome to the UBC News Tonight with me, Wadulo Mark Arnold, Mugalu Mohammed on sign language. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. Tonight in our headlines, Tanzania's President John Pombe Magufuli laid to rest. President Yoweri Museveni urges mothers' union to raise responsible children. First COVID-19 tests easing cross-border movement. And only big league, Super League teams will be competing. Once again, it's a pleasure to have you. We now give you the news in detail. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has urged members of the Mothers' Union in all church denominations and all women in the country to be a good example by raising children who are responsible citizens. The President made these remarks at the Mary's Day service attended by the members of the Mothers' Union, led by their President of the Mothers' Union, Namirembe Archdiocese Josephine Kasato, at State House in Entebbe. Now, the service was hosted by the President and his wife, Mrs. Janet Museveni.
Let me begin by thanking her, Josephine, and the team of Mothers' Union for showing Uganda how serious you are as a team of mothers during the electoral process. The Mothers' Union were some of those that went with us into the trenches of Uganda to work for what they believe our country should be, to work for the peace of Uganda. I was so encouraged and really motivated because I saw that the Mothers' Union are a serious team. Because the leader is chosen by God ultimately. But we have a duty to go out and talk about the programs of government and the programs leaders consider important for the country. And so, to see women who care for their families, because you see, it takes mothers who care for their families to understand that this work requires them also put on their shoes and go out and do the work that requires to be done. So you Mothers' Union in the Catholic Church and Muslim women who also serve in the mosques, we need to put our heads together and to agree on the strategy that we must use to ensure that our children will not just grow like trees in the field when we have mothers' unions in churches, in God's work in the country.
Ate mama nga bwagambye abawala baffe n'abatabani baffe mulina omulimu gw'amaanyi kubanga mulina abazzukulu baffe be muzadde ate be mulabirira. N'olwekyo mmwe mulina okufuuka ekyokulabirako ate nga babadde agamba temukkiriza abaana baffe okufuuka nga ba Eli. Kati mu kisanja kino tugenda kutandika kaweefube ow'okutuusa esente ez'okukola bino byonna ku buli muluka tukiyita parish model. twagala kutandikawo bank ya buli muluka ayagala kukola kyonna kyayagala kukola tutaddeko sente mu miruka egyo abali mu miruka egyo bayingire mu bibiina by'okutereka n'okwewola tubateekiremu sente za gavumenti bongeremu ezaabwe bakole bagobe obwavu. Bankozesa omukisa guno okutongoza magazine ya mwala wange Kasaato ntunuddemu emirimu gye mukola. The jobs you do are inside here. Some of the things you do. Katonda yabaziwe.
Furthermore, the Prime Minister, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, has encouraged all Ugandans to embrace the COVID-19 vaccination exercise to minimize chances of contracting the virus. He made these remarks shortly after taking his first dose of the vaccination at the office of the Prime Minister in Kampala.
The mid-morning of Friday started as an ordinary working day as always at the office of the Prime Minister. It was spiced by the bold step taken by the Prime Minister, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, to prevent the spread of coronavirus in Uganda. Leading by example, he got vaccinated against the virus, clearly indicating that the speed of the captain is the speed of the team.
Many of you are here because of a successful immunization program, because measles, whooping cough, pertussis, and other common diseases could not touch you because you are protected. COVID is a serious problem. It's a problem with us. It's taking many people in Uganda, in East Africa, and in the world. Therefore, we should combine efforts to defeat it, and defeating it involves following the SOPs and getting vaccinated.
Other than preach water and drink wine, the step taken by the Prime Minister is an assurance that the AstraZeneca vaccine is safe for human use.
I must say, physically I feel fine. And number two, I feel safer that I'm now strengthened to fight COVID in case it comes. So it's an important protective mechanism.
This he's confident to the extent that he foresees a situation where the COVID-19 vaccination card may become an international travel requirement.
It will not surprise me if it becomes a requirement almost globally. Yeah. But in Europe, it is already a major issue under discussion.
To join him in this pursuit was the Minister for General Duties, Mary Karoro Okurut, and Government Chief Whip, Ruth Nankabirwa. Both described the exercise as smooth and a journey to safety against the virus.
It has been a coincidence that as we prepare to take our MPs-elect to Chankwanzi, there is this vaccination exercise.
It is such requirement for safety that recently elected NRM members of Parliament will have to undergo before attending the upcoming retreat in Chankwanzi.
If you are not vaccinated, you will not be in Chankwanzi. Why do you mix with people who have been vaccinated? First of all, currently the sitting MPs are being vaccinated. Even if it wasn't for Chankwanzi, these incoming MPs who are supposed to be vaccinated, all of them.
Vaccination against COVID-19 started officially on 10th March 2021 with health workers leading the way. It has since been rolled out to other vital organs of the state, including army, police, prisons, and parliament, among others. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, on an emotional note, the Requiem Mass for the late President of the United Republic of Tanzania has been held at his home village in Chato in Geita district. The ceremony was held in a somber mood in a Catholic church setting up was also attended by the President Samia Suluhu Hassan and former Presidents Ali Hassan Mwinyi and Jakaya Kikwete.
Thousands of mourners attended the Requiem Mass that took place at Magufuli Stadium to bid a farewell to their president. Different dignitaries from government, including the former Tanzanian President Jakaya Kikwete, Ali Hassan Mwinyi, the current President Suluhu Hassan, attended the burial. Addressing the mourners, the former President Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete remembered the late as a practical leader in handling national matters.
Kwa kutambua uwezo wako huo, ndio maana mwaka 2015 ikawa mwenyekiti wa chama chetu tukakuteua kwa mgombea mwenza kwa mgombea wetu wa urais Mheshimiwa JPM. Kwa umahiri mkubwa umeinadi ilani ya uchaguzi ya 2015 na kuiwezesha CCM kupata ushindi. Na mmefanya hivyo tena 2022 wewe na JPM na kusababisha CCM kupata ushindi ambao haujawahi kutokea, tsunami.
The former President Ali Hassan Mwinyi also praised Magufuli for his work and said that the late was implementing ideas of the late President Julius Nyerere.
Miongoni mwa mambo aliyotuachia, jambo la kwanza nalo ni kubwa, ni pale alipofanya kijana huyu alipoamua kutekeleza maagizo ya baba yetu wa taifa marehemu mzee Nyerere.
Tumekuja kumstiri mpendwa wetu, lakini lazima pamoja na shukrani zote zilizotoka, nami kwa maalum kabisa, kwa mahsusi kabisa, ni shukuru kamati iliyoshughulikia mambo haya pamoja na vyombo vya ulinzi na usalama.
Different religious leaders also hailed the late as a true believer who wanted tremendous achievements for the Tanzanian people. The late President John Pombe Magufuli died on Wednesday, the 17th of March 2020, after suffering from heart-related complications. Saddam Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Now, to that effect, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation has bid farewell to the fallen Tanzanian President John Pombe Magufuli. The Managing Director, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Winston Agaba, says Magufuli has left behind him a leadership legacy that is not easy to forget.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation has been paying tribute to patriotic East African since his death. While signing the condolence book, the Managing Director, UBC, Winston Agaba, says Magufuli was a great leader with an honorable legacy.
Magufuli has left his mark because he's been somebody who has been steadfast in what he believed in. He led by example. And we believe that all the good examples that he has set are going to be a yardstick for those that are in power and those that are to come.
Agaba encourages all leaders to strive to emulate the late Magufuli, especially in his fight against graft and the love for East Africa.
I believe let's all do the right thing for the cause of the African unity, for the cause of the development of our continent and our countries.
Era nze ndowooza nti tabadde muzira wa Tanzania yokka. Magufuli abadde muzira wa East Africa, abadde muzira wa Africa. kuleba byakoze.
Nti Magufuli abadde president wa byafaayo nnyo kubanga mu myaka emitono egyo asobodde okubakolera ebintu ebingi nnyo.
Magufuli died on the 18th of March 2021 at the age of 61, and he was buried in his home village of Chato. Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
May the fallen hero's soul rest in eternal peace. Now, at least 749,811 candidates across the country are expected to sit the 2020 primary leaving examinations that started this Friday with candidates briefing. Primary leaving examinations are set for Tuesday 30th and 31st of March 2021.
Primary leaving examination.
At least 749,811 primary 7 candidates are set to sit their PLE exams at 14,300 centers across the country.
The actual writing of the examination will start on Tuesday 30th and end on 31st, Wednesday next week. Right now, field activities of training and posting of scouts, supervisors and invigilators are ongoing throughout the country.
The exams began this Friday with the briefing of candidates across the country.
In today's briefing, we encourage head teachers to, among other things, inform the candidates of the circumstances that may lead to their being disqualified from the examination or their results being cancelled.
The 2020 end-of-year primary leaving examinations, however, comes with caution to candidates, teachers and other stakeholders.
Everyone involved in the conduct of the exam is being asked to act with high levels of integrity to ensure that malpractice is controlled and that the examination is secure. I want to appeal to all district inspectors of schools to ensure that sufficient numbers of invigilators are deployed in each of the sitting centers to ensure that candidates are properly supervised and that the standard operating procedures as outlined by the Ministry of Health are followed in each of the examination rooms across the country.
We know that the PLE is the most competitive area of examination, and for that matter, we are keenly monitoring all centers to counter all forms of malpractice.
At a joint press briefing at Uganda National Examination Secretariat in Ntinda this Friday, Uganda Police spokesperson Fred Enanga, on behalf of security agencies, reaffirmed their commitment to the examinations process.
Even during this policing of the primary leaving examinations, we want to inform you that we have a very robust presence out there, both overt and covert. And we believe that there is not going to be any disruptions. We've asked the commanders to patrol all the centers to make patrol routes along the school centers where the exams are going to be conducted so that the candidates are not disrupted.
Out of the registered 749,811 candidates, 54% are female, whereas 47% are male. 68.4% are government funded, while 31.6% are privately sponsored candidates. With over 10,599 special needs candidates and pregnant girls expected to write their final exams next week, a 30-minute extra time will be accorded to them where need be. At the Ruzira Upper Prison Examination Center, 54 inmates will also append their PLE ink to Dan Nekrach Odongo's white papers. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Kampala.
Now in other news, the connection of the Uganda Mutukula one-stop border post to the National Information Grid by NITAU has eased the daily operations of the point. The Minister for Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance, Judith Nabakova, was on a working visit to the border point facility. These are the details.
The Minister for Information and National Guidance, Judith Nabakoba, has visited the Uganda-Tanzania one-stop border point of Mutukula.
Our work starts on the other side, which is the major entry.
Mutukula one-stop border point is among the living testimonies of Uganda's transitioning from manual to internet automation.
Installation of the new system, from my experience, is that it has helped us to enhance trade facilitation, because clearances can be done much faster without the bottleneck of slow connectivity or lack of internet. Absolutely.
In as far as having e-services in government is concerned, we have seen the offices here at Mutukula, the police, the URA, the immigration, the UNBS, all those offices are connected to the NBI. And from what we have got, even the real time of offering a service has reduced. Previously, people would take about 7 days, 14 days without being cleared. But now, since most of the services are automated, you realize that in a day, one can be in position to cross the border and proceed where they are supposed to go, which is a good thing on the part of government. And I want to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, who so far and realized that our country really needed to have these automated services.
However, with such a success and inspiring story, lack of a stable and reliable power source remains a stumbling block for this one-stop border point.
The UEDCL being very unreliable, always off, and we tend to, for us, we are able to use the generator as Mutukula one-stop border, but a number of our partners are always cut off.
Much as there is business going on at the border, but they have a challenge of power supply. It is not reliable, hence the need for government to come in and look at this border as a critical resource and probably have a reliable power source in place to enable them be on power throughout their work.
Nabakoba was in a company of officials from National Information and Technology Authority, NITA, and ICT Ministry.
You know that previously, even in Kampala, for one to get a visa, some people would come as early as 4 a.m. So this automation is doing wonders in as far as service delivery is concerned, but also enabling business within Uganda, but even across the boundary.
Yes, before NITA was on site, most of the work was manual, and you had to drive all the way to Kampala to get services. But now, as you have seen, URA can connect remotely. URSB is connecting and registering companies in a few hours compared to days, and all other government services are being provided real-time, fast and effectively.
The Mutukula one-stop border point is a state-of-the-art facility housing NITA hubs, Uganda Revenue Authority addresses and passport offices whose operations are now anchored on the national IT grid. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni embarked on poverty eradication sensitization meetings with the 5 villages of Chirasi, Kajumiro, Chisozi A, Chisozi B, Chekuma, Dungu, Butugu, Lutunku A and Lutunku B in Gomba and Sembabule, covering 1,700 homesteads in 2011. Now, through the Poverty Alleviation Department of State House, residents were given skills for improving food security, hygiene and modern farming methods. President Museveni's efforts paid off and the community embraced the program that has changed the face of Chisozi.
Didier Kanyankole resides in Kajumiro Parish in Sembabule district. He's the chairman of his village. As a chairman, he was always irked by the fact that his area lacked food and people were so poor they couldn't afford their children's school fees. However, all this changed with the intervention of the Poverty Alleviation Department, PAD, of State House. Currently, he has 2 acres of matoke and 2 acres of coffee, as well as cows and goats.
nenzijako enyera zanadiza nizisigara nga ziri embuzi 8 ate nezizara niziwera embuzi nga 30.
Initially, he was given 4 goats with 1 male. After some time, they have increased to 30 goats. He started with a grass-thatched house, but now he has built a bungalow fitted with solar panel.
Banagenda kugamba ntunda ku matooka ago n'emmwanyi ne ku mataga ente ezo ze bampa. Nintundako ne ku mbuzi kwe kuzimbye n'ennyumba ennene gye mulaba. Kubanga amata tunda lita nga 3. Amatooke buli mwezi nteeka okuba nga nfuna emitwalo nga 3 oba 4. Emmwanyi mu mwaka kugamba tuzinogamu mu mirundi 2. Emmwanyi lwakuba tezinabala bulungi naye ate nfunamu buli sizoni nfuna emitwalo nga 3.
Another similar story is that of Molly Renyaguruza of Chikumo village, Rutungu parish. This is found in Kawanda division of Sembabule district. Molly is a matoke farmer, but then she lacked proper knowledge of farming.
Programs za padi za twegesa okuhinga twahinga na timboro twanje hikishatu nduro numureba nagira kwente zanje 2 zenjungu konka zitakamwa je bamperezente ya padi yazara nintunda mate amashani ninkwata amashani ngato mu rutoke rwanje rwayengengeta rwagiramwe bitoke ate bitoke bursande nke 3 nimba nintunda mu bitoke 50 buri kitoke nikitundo mutwaro.
PAD came in and trained her together with other people on proper matoke growing, and she now grows matoke on 3 acres of land. She was given a milk cow which provides cow dung and manure as well as milk. From the matoke garden, she harvests 50 bunches, each at 10,000 shillings. In a year, she earns 20 million shillings from matoke alone. She employs 2 people in the plantation, which helps her to dig and also make trenches as well as mulching. She has been able to build herself an iron-roofed house from the grass-thatched one she earlier occupied.
Toche byanje n'amateka yanje binani nkugambira nkarugo mu yakakaju kakasisira mbere nindaromu hata na argamu na yombeke ndijo denjiji yibati nataho dishi nataho sora kugira ngo ngumene ndeberaho program za muzeyi ezinkura TV ngwene program za muzeyi nzinege nimba ninzhurira.
Her plan is to rear exotic cows by zero grazing, which can yield 20 liters of milk per day. According to her, her life has greatly improved.
Ndi sente yekiju nabona kamente emwe nebane kamwarta abiri
The Rotary Club of Kampala North has commended Uganda Broadcasting Corporation for its developmental and educative programs across all its platforms. Now the Rotarians, I must say, headed by their immediate past president Tina Nachibuka, say that most of the programs of UBC are in line with what Rotarians do. Now they had paid a vocational visit to UBC, and these are the details.
Rotarians from the Rotary Club of Kampala North were this Friday guests of Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. The Rotarians were led by the immediate past president Tina Nachibuka.
We're here today as members of Kampala North visiting with UBC. The managing director is a Rotarian in Kampala North. It is the norm of Rotarians to visit the vocations of other Rotarians. So this time round, we came to visit UBC.
The Rotarians toured UBC broadcast studios and the entire station, among other facilities. Rotarian Tina Nachibuka commended UBC for its developmental and educative programs that they say has motivated them to strengthen partnerships across its entire platforms.
The partnership has already started many years back. I think 3-4 years we've started working with UBC. Last year it was so deep. We partnered with UBC in so many activities that we're doing. So today we came on ground to actually get a real feel of what UBC is all about. And now we have seen a lot that we didn't know, which is very inspiring, and we are so thankful to the government of Uganda for having this cooperation here.
The managing director, UBC Winston Agaba, welcomed the initiative and pledged more partnerships between the Rotary clubs and the corporation.
We've had very fruitful discussions, and we believe that as UBC we are going to give prominence to bring to light all the activities that are carried out by Rotary International and Rotary Uganda as a whole. And we know that this can enrich our programming, not only just being educative, but being informative and being an eye-opener to people to give back to society. We all have a role to play in making this Uganda of ours a better place now and tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
The Rotarians crowned their tour by rewarding the station for a well job done since 1963. Philip Aguta, UBC News in Kampala.
UBC continuing to inspire Uganda. Now, the family division of High Court in Makindi has permitted the family of the wife to the late Bob Kasango to bury him in Fort Portal at Gweri Village, Karambi, Kabarole District, as earlier requested by the wife. Justice Lydia Mugambe, in her ruling on the evidence produced to this case, said that the deceased Bob Kasango didn't have any connections with the Tororo family where the mother wanted him to be buried, neither his children. So there is no way that he can be buried in Tororo.
After listening to submissions, Justice Lydia Mugambe has delivered a ruling in the case which was filed by the wife to the late Bob Kasango, Naisi Kasango Bitarabeho. In this ruling, Naisi Kasango Bitarabeho wanted court to allow her bury his husband in Fort Portal at Gwiri Village, which was opposed by the deceased's family, appealed to bury the late in Tororo. Justice Lydia Mugambe in her ruling said the deceased's children and wife had no connection with the Tororo family, as the late's family alleges. Basing on the mother to the deceased's evidence, Rosie Kabise, court was not convinced that the late Bob Kasango bought and land in Tororo, where he was going to be buried. Court also declined to accept that the deceased Bob Kasango was also called Ethieno, as his mother alleges, adding that the said name was not indicated anywhere on the latest public documents. Justice Lydia Mugambe, however, accused the deceased's mother, Rosie Kabise, for not teaching the deceased and his children the norms and values of the Japadora culture.
On an African land, the culture and the norms has a very big say in our constitutions that the judge, in her wisdom, did not take into account today. We are not going to be in Toro, from the information I have from elders.
Basing on this and other grounds, Justice Lydia Mugambe permitted the wife to the late Bob Kasango, Naisi Kasango Bitarabeho, to bury her husband in Fort Portal within 4 days from the date of ruling, and also asked police to ensure that the burial is conducted in an ordinary manner.
Yes, we are not going to Fort Portal to the in-laws to accord Bob a burial, but said and done, Bob will look for where he belongs, dead or alive.
She's a Jap. He's a Jap. He's a Jap. Otieno is a Jap.
Naisi Kasango Bitarabeho, the wife to the deceased, who declined to speak to us, was visibly elated with this ruling. This was not the same case with Rosie Kabise, the mother to the deceased.
I carried him for 9 months.
The children should look
He
for where we are going to
breastfed this breast. If I'm the one who breastfed him, let them take the body. They will bring back the bones. I'm telling.
Other relatives to the deceased also gave their views about the ruling.
You have done all this being biased. You know you are a woman and you have done it. And nice, you should remember that what you have done today will come back to you.
I did tell them, up the end where Bob must be built, must be buried, no the in-laws. But how this may, the judge has gone against the cultural norms and denied Bob to be buried at this essential ground.
Bob Kasango, who succumbed to heart-related complications in Nuzula government prison, was serving a 6-year sentence after being convicted on charges of fraud, swindling of 15 billion Ugandan shillings meant for pension. Since his demise, the body has been under the custody of Empress Funeral Service. Deborah Namamunde, UBC News.
Well, it's the way of life that we all must go at some time, but this goes to remind most of us while we're still alive to organize some of these things before we go. Moving on, border operations at the Mutukula one-stop border point in Rakai district have steadily recovered in the last few months after a major interruption in 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic. Now, for the past year, exporters and importers have faced long transit times due to driver COVID-19 testing at the border points or at the port.
Uganda has marked 1 year since it went under lockdown in order to curb the spread of coronavirus. Although the country has been recognized among the best in combating the spread of coronavirus globally, the social and economic impacts of the stringent rules and guidelines are still being felt far and wide. In its quest to stop or limit imported infections, government moved fast and closed all the major border points across the country. At Mutukula border post in Rakai district, business here literally came to a standstill.
When COVID-19 started, all businesses were interrupted. We used to make 50,000 a day, but right now we cannot even make 20,000.
Some of the businesses, the groceries, have literally opened because many people made losses.
The border, which links Uganda, a landlocked country, to the outside world through the port of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, could not operate optimally for some months. However, 1 year down the road, Mutukula border is almost back to its best. This is credited on continuous stakeholder engagement on issues pertaining to coronavirus and border operations.
We've held various meetings. We have a COVID committee that normally sits, and we keep on enforcing the SOPs, keeping on reminding our counterparts about the data. So I can say meetings through our continuous engagement with our stakeholders on the other side. We hold meetings monthly and at times impromptu meetings.
Hundreds of cargo trucks heading to various destinations can be seen exiting the border post or parked awaiting clearance. The time spent waiting for COVID-19 results at the border has significantly reduced. Initially, one had to wait for days, but now, within 24 hours, the results are available.
If someone is tested at 8 a.m., within 2.5 hours, the COVID results are released. This has eased movement. As Test and Fly, we charge 170,000 Uganda shillings for the test and 100,000 Tanzania shillings.
These new developments have helped in reducing the turnaround time for cargo trucks, improved profitability for the business community, impacted positively on the local economy, and last but not least boosted truck drivers' morale.
Right now, the situation is far much better. The driver is worked on very fast and continues with the journey.
Business is almost back to normalcy here at Mutukula. In the Ugandan side and Tanzanian side, business is booming. The police officers who are deployed at the border are no longer there. However, the users of this facility are urged not to drop their guard and adhere to the COVID-19 standard operating procedures.
We still have a section of people being at borderline with Tanzania who believe that COVID is a myth. So even if you tell them to put on a mask or keep social distance, they laugh at you. So the mindset of the people who believe that COVID is not there also has been a challenge. They don't want to follow, some of them, they don't want to follow the rules. But good enough within the OSBP here, with the stakeholders I work with. Most of us are well conversant with the dangers of the disease.
In a week of 1,000 trucks from Tanzania to Uganda and to various destinations in the region passed through Mutukula.
Safari iko safi, hakuna matatizo. Uganda safi, hamna matatizo barabarani, hakuna askari anasumbua.
Dennis Igoa and Charlotte Muge for UBC News.
In another unfortunate turn of events, security personnel and residents of Nyachinama sub-county in Kisoro district are searching for the remains of one Mercy Namukasa, a 28-year-old woman who has been missing for some time. Now the search is being conducted within Muchibaya in Nyachinama village, Karambi parish, Nyarubuye sub-county in Kisoro district.
Security in Kisoro have mounted an operation around areas of Mukibaya in Nyakinama village near the DRC border in search of 28-year-old Mercy, who went missing for months now. Mercy Namkasa's body is suspected around areas of Mukibaya in Nyakibaba village, Karambi parish, Nyarubuye sub-county, near her home. The search followed information from herdsmen around the area who reported suspected human remains in Mukibaya near DRC. The operation was led by Seth Ntakirukumana, the officer in charge of Nyarubuye police post.
Our area of responsibility, which was a cover
According to Seth, they will retrieve whichever remain they will come across to ascertain whether they are for Mercy and also the probable cause of death.
Until
the operation to find the remains of the deceased is now on the third day. Samuel Nsabimana, who led the police to the place where Mercy's remains were suspected to be, says they saw some items like clothes, bones including a skull, which they have to examine before confirming whether they are for the late. Relatives of the missing woman are hopeful that with time the body will be found if indeed she was killed.
Quite unfortunate. Now still 2 miners are believed to have drowned in Lake Mutanda as they crossed the lava-dammed lake to fetch firewood from across the lake using a hand-dug canoe. The LC chairman, Iremera Emmanuel Baruturukundo, confirmed the incident.
Two children have drowned in Lake Mutanda in Kisoro district after the boat they were sailing in capsized. Marvin Akampurira, 10 years, and Sabiti Collins, 13 years, reportedly drowned after they failed to swim across the vast lake, while Obed Mfitumikiza, 10 years, was rescued as he tried to swim across. According to an eyewitness, the boys were seen on Lake Mutanda sailing before the boat capsized.
Baramukurura bamushira hasi ariko abandi babiri kubera ko twabuze amato gashitse kuko hari ikiyaga gikarishe kitajamo akato kanini bahita bagenda tureba tuburi cyo gukora hanyuma imenyeshaho polisi DPC na mutera hisimu.
Residents have on this note asked government to come to their aid and give them engine boats.
Ugahinda nk'ibire byangira gafite
By press time, residents had not yet retrieved the two teenagers but had not yet given up on the search.
On a lighter note, over 300 learners of Champogola Primary School in Kamira Sub-County, Luero District, have a reason to smile after receiving iron sheets for roofing their school. The State Minister for Higher Education and Area Member of Parliament, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, donated the iron sheets to the school and neighboring affected communities, including a police station. These are the details.
State Minister for Higher Education and Member of Parliament for Wamunanika County in Luero, Dr. Jesse Muyingo, has donated the iron sheets, maize flour, maize and beans to Champogola Primary School, whose structures were destroyed by a rainstorm recently. Minister Muyingo also supported communities, churches, schools and the police station that were destroyed by the thunderstorm.
Simply because there were no trees to protect this building from the wind, from the wind. So it's important if we are to really sustain the development that is coming up, that we have a clean environment, a good environment, and we can do that, improve upon it by planting a tree, each member in a family.
He encouraged communities in the area and the country at large to prepare their gardens for the rainy season and also advised them to shift from peasant to commercial farming for more dividends. On the issue of politics, Dr. Muyingo cautioned the youth against politicking but should engage in development-related issues. He refuted allegations that he has petitioned the court concerning the recent elections where he lost to his former assistant. The headmaster of Champogola Primary School in Kamira, Christopher Mugisha, commended the minister for the donation.
Kindly, all the political leaders to come and intervene in this situation so that we are helped to see that we really can stop putting classes in the tree shades. We are requesting kindly even the government to come in, the district leaders to come in.
I appreciate the portion that the Honorable has given us as Bamnanga Police Station and Luero Police as a whole.
Our minister, our MOP, Dr. Jesse Muyingo, for the donation and all the support is giving the school. The school is performing very well because of the support given.
Meanwhile, water scarcity is disrupting livelihoods in Bamunanika due to an extended dry spell. Mutonyi Hilda and Salung Kasibante, UBC.
Pakistani Association of Uganda has continued its corporate social responsibility drive that aims at aiding Ugandans access service delivery like clean water and health and other social amenities also guaranteed. Now, this is part of a large and long-lasting scheme that has been re-energized.
Ugandans are benefiting from the generosity of international partners, with the Pakistan Association Uganda the latest to spread its wings of goodwill.
In a rural area, there is no clean water. So we decided to start a project. Initially we are starting for 100 borehole. There are many has completed. Like 2-3 months before I was in Maracha district. After I opened there about 2-3 boreholes there.
The Pakistani presence has been evidenced in several districts including Mayuge, Maracha, Palisa, Kampala, Rushere and Kibuku.
Last year we did a medical camp in Rushere district. About 5,000 people we treated. We spent over about almost 100 million on that one. Free medicine we gave. We took there many nurses, many doctors from here, and we freely. The people was very happy there. And for the major, some people have the major diseases like family, and we brought here Kampala and we did a parade.
The services they offer to Ugandans are in form of boreholes for clean water, medical camps that include blood donation and ambulance services, and also free food distribution, especially now as the world manages a pandemic.
And it was a big project. People of those areas are very happy to see the clean waters. Even heartily, we are very happy to see the people of Uganda. They are very happy. So that is why we are planning to have more boreholes in different areas of Uganda. And we had a free medical camps. We had blood donations every year, and every time we are ready to do it. And a part of that, Pakistan Association Uganda has provided the free ambulance service through the Consulate of Pakistan.
Target is for the Pakistan Association Uganda to reach all districts to benefit the vulnerable, with employment opportunities also lined up.
We'll now take a short commercial break, and the UBC News Tonight shall return after these messages, so please stay tuned.
Today tastes like a new tradition.
like an old favorite. Tastes like all hands on deck and all eyes on the prize. Today tastes like a piece of the action. And it never tasted this good.
No one should stop you from finishing what's yours. That's why MTN gives you data bundles that don't expire. Load MTN Freedom Bundles using My MTN app and enjoy the freedom to finish your data bundles. MTN.
Kapo, you seem to be in a hurry. Where are you going to?
I'm gonna pay URA visit.
But you can access URA online. Why pay a visit?
To know more about the Kakasa Business Solutions, namely digital tracking solution, the voluntary disclosure program and electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solution, which have turned my business around. You know I need to be on top of my game to protect my empire. If you know, you know.
I too need to know what Kapo knows.
Kakasa, be sure you are in charge of your business. Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
Today tastes like a new tradition, like an old favorite. Tastes like all hands on deck and all eyes on the prize. Today tastes like a piece of the action. And it never tasted this good.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight with me, Wadulo Mark Arnold, and we're streaming live on YouTube under the name tag UBC TV Uganda. We now proceed to the world of business. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Olanya, has hailed the retired Supreme Court Judge, Professor George Kanyehamba, as one who fought for constitutionalism in Uganda. Olanya was speaking at the launch of Professor Kanyehamba's 31st book titled Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law and Government at Imperial Royal in Kampala.
Another right honorable saying that it's a simple move straight to our last item has been demolished. Presidential candidate.
Uganda is at a defining moment, and when you are lost, you look for familiar places. We should strive to make a country where we all feel comfortable. If you have some discomfort, there must be ways within the system to address the discomfort, and we should live by that. But when you are calling people, like it happened, calling people's children to come and do certain things, it may not be fair. At least if your own children were part of the front line, it will make a lot of sense. This country will not make better without violence. We have seen enough of it. Without chaos. We have seen enough of it.
The Minister of Works and Transport, General Edward Katumba Wamala, has applauded Toyota Uganda for supporting national road safety campaigns and creating employment opportunities to the youth. Now, he says Toyota investment is in line with Uganda's Vision 2040, which acknowledges the challenges of youth unemployment in Uganda. Now, this was contained in a speech read for him by the ministry's Principal Assistant Secretary, Mohammed.
It was a colourful event at Toyota Uganda head office industrial area in Kampala as Toyota partnered with Suzuki Motors Corporation to launch a new fuel-efficient Vitara Brezza. This 1.5-litre four-wheel drive compact utility vehicle launch was concurrently held with unveiling a modernized solar-powered facility to accommodate all the franchises under Toyota brands, including Hino. The Principal Assistant Secretary at the Ministry of Works and Transport, Mohammed, who represented his minister, explained that the partnership is good gesture towards creating more employment opportunities.
Therefore, I would like to thank Toyota Uganda for creating employment opportunities for our youth over the last 15 years. Fuel-efficient vehicles are therefore of paramount interest in order to optimize this expenditure.
His ambassador to Uganda, Fukuzawa Hidemoto, said the partnership will boost Uganda's national road safety campaign, which aims at reducing road accidents.
And they are also focusing on vocational training, I understand, and you try to educate the young people to get into the society, which is very, very helpful.
The Managing Director, Toyota Uganda, Mahmoud Omar, said the initiative aims at promoting safety on the road, boost business prospects and establish a vehicle assembling plant to meet the anticipated market demands.
The facility is supplements our Namante branch in Kampala. It has all the what we call 3S facility, which is sales of vehicles, after sales and parts, and it will also be the maybe to improve access to our customers for all the products that we sell.
Century Bottling Company and Red Cross Society have donated hand-washing facilities to various public markets in Rubaga Division. Now, marketplaces still remain some of the most prone areas which gather crowds, leaving people at risk of contracting the coronavirus. These are the details.
Many public markets in Rubaga have been lacking sufficient hand-washing facilities, a challenge that motivated this donation.
As a Uganda Red Cross, we have received equipment for hand washing, which are going to be distributed to the various stakeholders that have been called upon, including markets. We have market chairpersons and community responsible persons from the local governments. They are going to be placed at various centers after sensitization and orientation.
The Deputy Mayor, Rubaga Division, Sam Gombia, notes that the public markets are still struggling to follow the COVID-19 SOPs, especially for people with disabilities.
Talking on behalf of people living with with disabilities, at times these facilities do not help them at all, because sometimes our limbs are off. You find somebody without legs, and yet the facility is requiring somebody to press it using our feet or foot.
We call upon all those who have received the equipment to maintain them, make better use of them, because it is not only for their good, but for the entire world and Uganda as large. So hand washing is really called for, and we really need this equipment to be well maintained.
Communities continue to take necessary precautions against catching COVID-19 as the Health Ministry rolls out vaccination across the country. Wadulo Mark Juma compiled the report.
Now in the world of sports, Uganda start at the Spa Challenge Tri-Nationals Netball Tournament in South Africa has been brightened by a loss that the team's coach Rashid Mubiru blames on poor officiating. Uganda lost 49-33 against the hosts in a game that the She Cranes started brightly but lost momentum in the second half.
We had two injuries. We had injury from the goal shooter. He was hit by the eyes. Then wing attacker also got injured on the knee. So they disorganized our game totally. Yeah, we don't know if it was intentional or because if I didn't see any warning in the game. I didn't see any question. Somebody comes and do such thing. According to the rules, you have either a question or warn. Yeah, something has to happen. Such infringement.
It was quite a challenge. Quite a challenge. First quarter, it was a really good game. We were affected due to injuries in the court, whereby we had to change in, you have to bring in more strategy. That's why it affected us as She Cranes. I hope next game it won't happen again. Yeah, it has affected me, but I have nothing to do. It's coach's work to add in more effort, but due to the game, it was really challenging. Anyway, hard luck. Next time better.
Okay, as a coach, you have to plan game strategies. Like today, we got injuries, so we could catch up slowly, but it was not our day. But next time we shall plan before the next match comes. We have to think beyond.
Changes have been made for the 2021 Uganda Cup tournament to fit the current COVID-19 sports measures. Now the tournament will have only big league and Premier League clubs competing, as Mugalu reports.
There is no greater feeling to players than an announcement of an increase in prize money. The 2021 Uganda Cup tournament will see the overall winner walk away with 50 million shillings. This comes after Plascon, a painting company, colored the tournament with close to 200 million shillings in sponsorship.
Have always wanted to associate ourselves with the Uganda club. It has got a very rich history dating back all the way from the 1970s, and it basically is played across all the divisions. So it basically reaches the grassroots levels, and it is also mutually beneficial as we try to grow our brand.
With last year's tournament halted and later nullified due to COVID-19, this year's tournament will start on the round of 32, with only Uganda Premier League and FUFA Big League clubs competing.
With this sponsorship from Plascon, I am glad to announce a further increase in the prize money for the competitions as follows. The winner will now get 50 million shillings. The runner-up will take 20 million shillings. The semi-finalists will each get 12 million shillings. The quarter-finalists will each get 6 million shillings. Teams that finish at the round of 16 will each get 3 million shillings.
Tournament is played across the country and across our league division clubs, from 1st division to 5th division, and it extends to non-league clubs. Last season, we had a record of 191 football clubs.
The tournament is set to kick off on Monday, April 5th, until the finals on July 24th, 2021, at a yet-to-be-confirmed venue. The tiles will be played home and away, besides the final. The win of the competition represents Uganda at the CAF Confederation Cup, the second most prestigious tournament in African club football. Proline FC is the defending champion, having won the 2018-2019 championship when they beat Bright Stars FC in shootouts at a final held in Masaka Recreational Grounds. KCA and Express are joint record winners with 10 titles, while AC Villa have 9 to to their name.
And that brings us to the end of our news bulletin today. My name is Wadulo, Arnold, Mugalu, Mohammed in sign language. Thank you for keeping us company, and we're always honored to give you this information firsthand. From the team, we must say good night.
Hey, what's up everybody? We are here recording for a global broadcast called Good Friday, and you have to mark your calendar. It's all going down Friday, April 2nd. It's going to be incredible and encouraging, so I want to encourage you to join us. It's going to be awesome. Mark your calendar, grab your friends, grab your family, post it on socials, hashtag Good Friday 21.
It's been a tough year. We could all use a restart, a reboot, a renewal. This Easter, turn to the one who can recharge, restart, and renew. Find hope in Jesus Christ. Celebrate Him. Feel new hope through music and inspired messages. Worship with us. Worship Him. Join us for Easter General Conference.